Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GST Zen's webinar on ISD in GST. Today we have CA Jagdish with us who will guide us through the webinar today. Sir, you can start, sir.
Okay, thank you. Before that, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to you all. Yeah, hello. Yes, okay. I see thumbs up. Okay, then. Uh, yeah, good afternoon, all. And in today's webinar, I'm going to discuss about the input service distributor part. I will discuss on theory part, and later with me, my colleagues Akila and Manisha would take you through the GST, how to use GST Zen in complying the ISD under GST. So now, first I will discuss about the legal provisions, and then later we'll discuss about what is the procedure of distribution that ISD credit, and at the end we'll see the practical challenges and issues. So what the ISD means, input service distributor. So if you see the name itself is a self-explanatory. It means it is called a distribution of input which is in the service nature. That means under ISD input service distributor, you can only distribute the input on services. You cannot distribute input on goods or capital goods. So it is clear that you can only distribute the input on services. So now we'll see what the exact definition as per the law that input service distributor has been provided under section 2 subsection 61 of the CGST Act. Now we'll see what the definition provided by the GST law. So if you see here, ISD means an office which receives and input services on behalf of distinct person. I will break down into 3 parts. If you see here, it starts with an office. Like it's an virtual office which is receiving an input services on behalf of the distinct persons. So what the distinct persons here, distinct person has been defined under section 25 of CGST Act. So what the distinct person means, having more than one GST registration of same legal entity will be called as a distinct person to each such registration. Let's say I'm in Karnataka. I have a registration in Karnataka as well, and also I'm having registrations in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. In that case, remain all for Karnataka registration, Telangana, AP, Tamil Nadu registration will be a distinct person. So if I receive any input service, let's say I'm in Karnataka, I have received input service in Karnataka on behalf of the other 3 locations, that is Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra. In that case, it will be all these, on behalf of all these, I have received the input services. So it is a kind of virtual office, and receiving input services on behalf of distinct person will be called as an input service distributor. Okay, up to here it's good. So before moving further, first we'll understand what the concept of cross search. So if you already this concept is there, why there is a need of introducing this ISD, input service distributor? Before moving further, now I will explain the concept of the cross search. Under GST law, cross search nowhere defined. Okay, but you know, to charge a GST, there should be a levy followed by the supply. Without the supply, there will be no levy. So section 7, the term supply has defined under section 7. Okay, so if there is an under schedule 1, entry 2 to schedule 1 provides the provides that if there is any transaction between the distinct person, that will be treated as a supply, even though there is no consideration. That means even though there is no consideration, if there is any transfer of goods or provision of service between these two distinct persons, then it will be treated as a supply. Therefore, because of this condition, any transaction between the distinct person will be treated as a supply, and GST is charging on that. So this is how the cross. This is the concept of a cross search. So okay, cross search is there. Then why there is a need of input service distributor? That we'll discuss now. Anyway, by way of cross search, we are discharging GST. All that. So okay. And before that, we'll see the valuation part also. What is the valuation? Section 15 has provided the section 15 talks about the valuation. Yes, section 15 talks about the valuation. Section 15.1 specifically tells that 15.1 will apply only when the buyer and seller is unrelated and price is the sole consideration. But here, the transaction is between the distinct person. That means both are related. In that case, section 15 cannot be, section 15 subsection 1 cannot be applied. So in that case, as per section 15, what it is saying, the transaction value will be the value of your supply. But by taking the section 15 subsection 1, I cannot adopt the transaction value. So what the section 15.4 read with rule 28 is saying that in case you transaction value cannot be arrived by way of section 15 subsection 1, then you would refer the rule 27 to 31. So what rule 28 provides for the valuation in case of transaction is happening between the distinct persons or agent. So what rule 28 is saying, by way of rule 28, first you have to see the open market value. If you cannot find the open market value, you value of similar kind of services or goods should be taken as your transaction value. If you cannot find the value of both the things, I mean, if there is no open market value or you cannot find any similar kind of goods, in that case, you have moved to the rule 30 and 31. What rule 30 is saying that cost plus 10% should be your value. You cannot, even in that case also, if you cannot find the value of that, you have to refer to rule 31. That is the best statement estimate. So this is how you have to arrive the value in case of cross search. That is, if the transaction is happening between the distinct person, that means between the GST registrations of the same legal entity. So with this, this is how the valuation will happen in case of the cross search. Okay, GST is discharging correctly and everything is going smooth. Then why there is a need of ISD here? If you see the proviso to the rule 28, what it says is, if recipient is eligible for 100% ITC, then whatever the supplier charges, that will be the transaction value. Let's take an example. I am in Karnataka and my branch office is in Andhra Pradesh. So the actual supply value is, let's say, 1 lakh. But I am charging 1 rupee. Even 1 rupee is also be the open market value. That will be the transaction value. That will be the value of the supply. So because of this, as we all know that GST is a destination-based tax. That means wherever the goods or services are consumed, to the state revenue should go. But because of this proviso to the rule 28, what it is saying, whatever you are charging to your branch office, that means even 1 rupee or 0 can be the value, can be treated as an open market value, provided your recipient is eligible for 100% ITC. Okay, so my Andhra Pradesh branch office is eligible for 100% ITC, and I am charging 1 rupee, to the AP. So that will be the open market value. That is the valuation part. Actually, Andhra Pradesh should go on 1 lakh 18. Let's say on 1 lakh 18,000 is the GST, and Karnataka is getting 18,000 as an GST, but it should go to the Andhra Pradesh. But on 1 rupee, I'm paying only 0.18 paisa. So only that amount is going to my going to Andhra Pradesh. So due to this lacuna, now ISD has made mandatory. So hope it is clear to you all. And further to this, there is also clarification given by way of Circular 199. Now we'll see what are all the clarifications given by way of this circular. If you see, is ISD mandatory or optional? No, it's not mandatory, but by way of press release, it now mandatory from 1st April 2025. That means from this financial year. So can head office issue tax invoice under section 31 to branch office for common input services received from third party? Yes, it can be done. And coming to the valuation of internally generated service, what this internally generated service? Let's say I'm having the head office in Bangalore and I'm providing HR related service or software related service to my branch offices. So these services are generated internally, not my head office is not getting these services from the third party. These are internally generated services, or they are providing some support services from from Karnataka in that case, where invoice has been raised from head office to branch office. Yes, just now we discussed the second provision to Rule 28 of CGST rules, where recipient is eligible for full ITC, that 100% ITC. The value declared in invoice shall be deemed to be the open market value. Whatever the value my suppliers are, the same will be the open market value. That will be the valuation. In case of yes, in case in the previous case invoice has been raised, but in the next case I have provided services, but I have not raised the invoice, but no invoice has been raised from head office to branch office. That is from Karnataka to Telangana, I have not raised the invoice, but I have provided the service. And my Telangana unit is also eligible for 100% ITC. In that case, what circular is clarifying that value of such supply may be deemed to be nil in terms of second product. It is as good as you have raised the invoice to the Telangana unit also. If you have not raised the invoice, okay, there is no problem in this case. So whether the inclusion of employee cost is mandatory or not, actually this issue has come up with the Columbia Asia Hospital's advanced ruling. So there it made mandatory that even employee cost services should be charged to the branch office. But this circular has given the clarification that in respect of internal generated services, it is not mandatory to include it in the valuation part. So the circular has given clarity on all these aspects. Still, even after giving the clarifications on all the issues, still there are some open-ended queries are there. Now we'll see valuation mechanism in case where recipient is not eligible for full ITC. Let's say Andhra Pradesh unit is not eligible for full ITC. In that case, what is the valuation? Still, it's a question. And how to interpret eligibility of full ITC, whether it is a core activity or we have to see the eligibility as a GSTN as a whole. So again, there is no clarity on this. Still, there is an ambiguity on this aspect. And what is the consequence in case either the cross-check or ISD have not been followed? In that case, it's a discretion to the officer. Either he can, there is a chance of denying the whole ITC of HO, which he has received the services on behalf of the branch officers, and levying the penalty, and he can, it's at the discretion of the officer. So whether still there is an doubt whether depreciation and finance cost need to be included in the valuation of the cost, sir. That means amortization and all that need to be included or not. Still, it's another this may arise another litigation. So all these are still open-ended queries even after issuing this circular. So now it is important to understand what's the difference between this ISD and the cross-check. If you see the definition of ISD, it is similar to the cross-sell. What we are doing in the cross-sell, the same we're doing in the ISD. Now we'll see what the difference between this ISD and the cross-sell. So coming to the type of the expense. In case of common service, this means I will take a small example. I'm an head office. I have engaged an audit service on behalf of all my branches. In that case, whether such expense should be covered under an ISD or the cross-sell. I have procured the service from the third party. So in that case, I have to treat that as an ISD, not under the cross-sell. Now coming to the cross-sell, services actually provided by one branch to another. That means HR. My HR related functions all are taken care by head office, which is located in the Karnataka. So all those HR related services are internally generated services. In that case, I can do the cross-sell to my head office to the branch offices. Okay. So when to use? If I am following the centralized procurement of input services, whatever I procure, I will procure. I will ask my vendor to bill it to my head office. In that case, the ISD credit has to be transferred through ISD. Whereas once again, this internal services rendered between GST register location, that is internally generated service, what we have discussed in the previous case, and ITC distribution. How to distribute the ITC? So in case of ISD, you can distribute the ITC by way of by filing the GSTR 6. The due date for filing GSTR 6 is the 13th of the subsequent month. Whereas in case of the cross charge, there is no such return. You can transfer the ITC by way of raising invoice. That's it. So if you want to transfer the ITC from Karnataka to the Telangana, you have to write the invoice to the Telangana unit. The coverage. In case of ISD, only the input services will be covered. Whereas in the cross-sell, you can distribute the ITC on input services and capital goods. Let's take an example. If your head office has purchased the server, which can be accessed by all of your distant person, that means all of your branch offices. Okay, so they are using this server. So in this case, you can cross-sell the expenditure what you have incurred on that server to your branch officer, that means your distinct person. In that case, you can adopt this cross-sells. What is the accounting treatment? There is nothing in ISD. Only the credit allocation will be there. Nothing will be. There is nothing to do in the books. And the cross-sell. This is the actual recognition of revenue of each branch. And coming to the taxability, under GST, it is not an supply, so there is no GST. It is a mere transfer of the credit. Okay. And coming to the cross-sell, it's a supply, so GST will be charged on the cross-sells. So this is the important difference between the cross-sell and the ISD. Moving on to the next slide. So situation where in ISD prevails over cross-sell. We'll see the cases where ISD prevails over the cross-sell. Head office receive invoice for statutory audit. Just now, just before we discussed this example, in case head office receive invoice for statutory audit, legal consultancy services, but the advice is issued by all multiple branches. That means these services are consuming by all the branch offices, all the distinct person. In that case, ISD ISD will prevail over the cross-sell. And rent of a corporate office. Again, the corporate office rent should be paid by all the branch offices. So, and advertising and marketing campaigns. And this is also the same way. An employee group insurance taken by HO on behalf of the whole company. Okay. You may have a question that the ITC on employee insurance is ineligible. Yes. Even then, you have to mark it as an ineligible and transfer to the branch offices as an ineligible ITC. That we'll discuss in detail in the later slides, how to transfer the credit to the distant persons. And now we'll see the situations where the cross-sell prevails over ISD. The shared HR services, IT and admin services provided by H42 branches. That means all these, if you see this example, all these services are internally generated services. These are not the services which the head office is procured from the third party. Okay. In case, let's say, if my head office outsource the HR services, in that case, that will be covered under ISD, not under the cross search. Similar the case with warehousing services provided by one branch to another. And similar the software license or IT infra hosted at one location. This example we already discussed. Now we'll see the mechanism of distribution of ITC. So section 20 has provided the mechanism how to distribute the credit to the decision person. Now we'll see how to distribute this. ISD distributes credits of own input services. This we already discussed in the opening slide, that only the input on services can only be distributed under ISD, not the goods, not capital goods. Okay. Credit of central tax is distributed as CGST or IGST. Similar the case with case with the SCST. This I will take a small example. I'm having an head office in Karnataka, and I'm also having the ISD registration in Karnataka. So I have received services on my ISD registration. Let's say CGST, I have received invoice with the CGST, SCST, Karnataka CGST and Karnataka SCST. So I am supposed to distribute this credit to my branch offices, which are located in Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So in that, as well as to the Karnataka also. So for all these 4 branches, I need to distribute it. So I have received CGST, SCST, right? In case of distribution to the Karnataka, that is from ISD to the regular registration of Karnataka, I have to distribute CGST as CGST only. Whereas in case of distribution to the Telangana, Tamil Nadu or Andhra, I have to distribute CGST as an IGST. In case of distribution within the state, I will distribute as it is, CGST as CGST. Whereas in case of interstate, I will distribute CGST as an IGST. The same the case with the SCST. In case of SCST, I will transfer Karnataka ISD to Karnataka regular as an SCST only, whereas Karnataka ISD to Telangana regular registration as an IGST. Okay. Coming to the next, credit of IGST, there is no difference in this. Whatever the IGST you received, the same way you distribute it as an IGST only to all the units, including Karnataka regular registration. So what are the conditions? Now we'll see the conditions for distribution of credit. The credit can be distributed only by way of filing Form GSTR 6, and credit distributor should not exceed the credit available for the distribution. Let's say I'm having 100 rupees in my pocket, I can distribute within this 100, not exceeding this 100. Anyway, the portal will not allow you to distribute more than the credit available in the ISD. And if service is attributable to the only one branch, credit should be distributed only to the particular branch. Let's say my Karnataka IGST, Karnataka ISD has received one service which is attributable only to the Telangana. In that case, I have to distribute the credit only to the Telangana branch only. I cannot distribute to the or to all the branch offices. If service is attributable to multiple branches, credit should be distributed to each of such branches based on the turnover on pro rata basis. So if I have received any of the services on behalf of all the branches, in that case, on the turnover basis, I have to distribute to all the branch offices. So now we'll see what is the relevant period for turnover consideration of turnover. That means, as I said in a previous slide, that credit should be distributed based on the turnover pro rata basis. Let's say, so what is the relevant period? For which period turnover I should consider to allocate the credit? Here you have to check whether all your branch office, that means all your distinct persons, are in existence in the previous year. If yes, so the whole of the previous year turnover you have to consider it. Okay, let's say 4 crore is your turnover as a whole. So each state is having the turnover of 1 crore. In that case, 25% per each branch. I mean, in our example, we are having 4 distinct persons: Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and AP. So 25% you have to distribute the credit. In case if any of your branch is not existence in the previous year, in that case, immediate preceding quarter turnover should be considered. That means my I don't have any branch office in existence in AP in the previous year. In that case, right now I am in the month of June, so I have to take the Jan to March 2025 quarter turnover as my for the purpose of allocation of ISD. Hope it is clear to you all. Now we'll see the segregation of the credits. So you have to split the credit as an eligible and ineligible. Eligible credit you should transfer as an eligible, and ineligible credit you have to transfer it as an ineligible. This we discussed in the previous that on employee insurance, ITC on employee insurance. So that is ineligible under section 17 subsection 5. It is a blocked credit. So in that case, the credit on such insurance you have to transfer it as an ineligible, and again the branch office will account it accordingly. Now allocation and segregation. Rule 39 has provided the how to allocate to the branches. Now we'll see how the common credits will be allocated across the branches. If you see the section, Rule 39 HC, if you have received any service which is attributable only to the one branch, in that case you have to allocate the whole of such input only to that branch. Okay. Now, coming to the Rule 39 again, if ITC attributable to more than one branch, but not all branches. Let's say I'm having branch offices in North India and also branch offices in South India, and I have availed marketing agency services, some advertising agency services, and I have availed services only for the product which is marketable only in the North India but not South India. So I have availed marketing services, advertising service only for the product which is marketable only in the North India. So in that case, I have to allocate the ITC on that advertising service only in the branches which are located in the North India, not in the South India. Hope it is clear. So because only those are all the ultimate consumption is happening in the North but not in the South. Okay. Now coming to the next part, exclusive we have removed, and the only to some branches that also we removed, and now the residual part, that is ITC attributable to all the branches. In that case, you have to allocate to all the branches based on the turnover. If you see here, ITC attributable to more than one branch but not all branches. So the vice versa case. This is the formula. C means total ITC available for distribution. So let's say you are having the ITC of the 1 lakh, and T1, T2, T3 are the turnover of the recipient during the relevant period. That is, these are the turnover of the branch offices T1, T2, T3, and T is aggregate turnover of all the recipients. That is, in our example, it's a 4 crore. The total turnover of all the branch offices, including the head office, that is the 4 crore. And T1, each state, each branch office turnover. So if you see here, C is the total available for distribution into T1 by T. If you club C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C4, it will be the total available for distribution. So this is how you have to distribute credit to your branch offices. So this already we have discussed that CGST have to be distributed as IGST has to be distributed as an IGST only. In case of CGST and SGST, if you want to transfer within the same state, that is Karnataka ISD to Karnataka regular, you have to distribute it as an CGST and SGST only. Whereas in case of interstate, you have to distribute it as an IGST. So whether there is an alternative to an IST, in my opinion, I suggest better to follow IST in order to avoid the future litigation. Still, if you think you want to avoid this ISD, so you ask your vendor to issue separate invoice for each of your branch office, not to the head office. And also you check the substance for form. So based on that, you can take a call. And also there is an option of get the invoice at HO level and internally write invoice on ISD registration. Again, this is it's a complex process of tracking of all these things. So how to prepare to comply with the ISD? So as I said that from 1st April 2025 onwards, it's now mandatory. Still, we are seeing that many of the taxpayers are not at taken ISD registration itself. Already we are in the June. So at any time, department may issue notice or deny the credit if you have not complied with the ISD. So first you assess which are all the locations where common ATC is accruing. So identify those locations and take the ISD registration there. Okay. And also identify all the common services like audit services, legal services, or any common IT related services. All that, identify all those common services and communicate with those vendors to write the invoice on the ISD, not on the regular GST registration. So from the ISD, you can transfer it to all the branch offices and also cross check whether common inputs are reflecting in ISD registration or not. So you have taken ISD and you have informed to your vendor, but there may be a chance that your vendor have not updated your GST and with the ISD registration. So once check that also after implementing this, and accounting system cross check for two-way reconciliation and all, and also whether the distribution is doing correctly or not. That also you keep track on it. So this is what, okay. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, there are some questions in the chat box. If there are any no common input service, then also it is mandatory for ISD registration. Yes, there is a question that saying that there are no common input services. Even in that case, ISD is mandatory. See, here ISD is just to transfer the credit of common services what you have. In case if you have don't have any common input services, now you don't have, but in future you may have the common input services. In that case, you have to take the ISD registration. By that only you can transfer the credit to your branch offices. If there are no common input services, then also it is mandatory for ISD registration and other states. See, ISD registration, you can take the multiple number of ISD registrations. Okay. So let's say I'm having locations in the 4 states, right? So let's say my directors are going to Telangana and staying there. My marketing office is there. So I am incurring lot of hotel accommodation bills there. So obviously, you know that place of supply for accommodation services where the immobile property located. So obviously, though I give my Karnataka registration number, they will give the CGST, SGST, which cannot be used by me. So in that case, you take the ISD registration in Telangana also. So you take the hotel accommodation bill on that ISD registration and transfer that to the Karnataka or to the multiple branch offices. There is no restriction in taking multiple ISD registrations. You can take any number of ISD registrations based on your choice. There are only there is one more point. HR related employee salaries are related to cross search or ISD. Again, if you procure your HR related service from the third party agency, in that case, we would suggest uh, to get it billed on the ISD, or else if your HR related service are in your head office, I mean internal employees only. In that case, you do the cross search. So the thumb rule is that if the service is on principal to principal basis, okay, in that case the cross search, use the cross search. If you are getting services from the third party and which in turn you transfer it to the branch office, in that case you follow the ISD. And if there is no third party involvement, there is no concept of ISD. Otherwise, the cross search for internal generated services, cross search will be you follow the cross search. So now we are at 3:35. So I will take up the questions at the end. Now with me, my colleagues Sakila and Manisha are there. They will take you through the practical allocation of ITC using the software called GST Zen. So handing over to you, Akila.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I'll just quickly share my screen. Hi, very good afternoon to everybody. So today I'll be demonstrating you that how you can file your GSTR 6 and do the reconciliation with 6A through GST Zen in no time with too much of convenience and very simple steps and everything. So to do the same through GST Zen, you need to sign up. Once you sign up, you will log into your account. This will be the dashboard where you can add all the GST number, and this is how it will show. To add the GST number, there is a button presented at the top to add new GST. You will click the GST number here. Like you will provide the GST number here, it will automatically fetch the name of the taxpayer, and you will choose this as ISD, Input Service Distributor. You can add multiple GSTN in one go, like by clicking on this show multiple GSTN, and you can provide multiple GSTN. It will show the sequence here, or you can add new GSTN and hit this Add to Account tab. It will show all the GSTN like this. So also we have a few more tabs on the screen, like manage multiple GSTN, autopilot, notice. Of course, you can use this button to see the return filing status in the screen itself. To explore all this, you can you can sign up to GST Zen. You will be in the trial period, and to know more about the trial period, you can reach out to us. I'll be just quickly search for the GST number for which I will be using to show the demonstrations. This is the one. Once I choose the GST number, it will take me to the next screen where we have the major options like download a report, reconcile book versus government portal data, and file GST return. Under download a report option, we have consolidated report, electronic ledger report. For this reconciliation, we have book versus GSTR 6A. And under this return, we have GSTR 6 monthly return filing. I'll be quickly start with the reconciliation. And for this, I have to choose the type of the reconciliation and the financial year, which I will be choosing for 24-25 to have the data at max. So this particular reconciliation is available with OTP. Like you need to log in with OTP so that you can fetch the data, whatever is there on the government portal. As you can see, I have already logged in here. There are few legends for your convenience to know what exactly is happening on your screen. So this yellow means the data is not yet downloaded from the government portal. And here you can do that for a particular section or for a particular month, maybe by just clicking on this checkbox. If you want to do it only for the April month, you can click on this checkbox below this April month, and it will tick on all the checkboxes under this A. Here, I want to fetch the data for the complete year. So I'll be clicking on this checkbox under this all. And post clicking on this checkbox, I will download the data from the government portal and give the command as yes. So it will take 2 to 3 minutes to fetch all the data from the portal, and you will get all the notification on the left hand side of your screen. If there is any error while fetching the data from the government portal, it will show also on the left hand side itself, but in red color to pop up there is some error because of which the data is not downloading. So as soon as you this, so all these yellow circles will is turned into green. You can just hover your cursor to any of the green circle to check when you downloaded the data. So here, my first step is done. That is fetching the data from the government portal. The second step is uploading your purchase register. So for that, we have two options to use, either with the purchase, like go with the purchase register by uploading an Excel, or through Tally integration. Here, I'll be demonstrating you that how you can upload your purchase register. So once I click on that option, here we have two download samples. For your convenience, it's not mandatory to use our sample. Whatever Excel format you are maintaining, you can use the same here. I will be showing you that how conveniently you can use your own template, not required to refer, like to use our one. Of course, you can refer it for the convenience, but not required to use it mandatorily. So I'll be uploading one Excel file. That is for a particular month, that is January. Here we have two formats. Either you provide the line item wise or a single row with multiple GST rates. So here I have uploaded the file with the multiple line item and click on this proceeding tab. So once the file is ready, it will show you all the screen, all the sheets, whatever is there in your Excel. You just have to choose which particular one you want to use. So here I'll be using this purchase invoices. So as I mentioned that you're not required to use our template, you can use your own template. So this is the main screen which will help you to use your own template, that is mapping screen. So here you will map your Excel with GST Zen so that it can pick the particular information from your particular Excel template from a particular column. So here I'll be showing you so it's mandatory to map all those columns which are with with this red star. And here you can simply choose, like you can see here all the columns of your Excel sheet. You just have to click on the drop down and select the particular column which you want to map for the supplier GSTN. Similarly, I have like it's already been auto populated for the rest of the columns. Reason being, if you're going to use the same template every time, you're not required to do this mapping again and again. It will auto populate if you have done it once correctly. So previously also I have used the same template, so it is giving me these mandatory things auto populated. I'll just quickly check that all these mandatory columns are mapped and quickly proceed. Just to make sure, because this is GSTR 6, we need to, like this field is required allocated GSTN number, maybe not here, but maybe required while filing the return. So I'm just showing you here itself that we have this allocated GSTN number column here, which you need to map while uploading the purchase register in case of filing. So I'll just quickly proceed with the filing, with the file upload. And once it is uploaded, it will give you a quick summary here so that you can check that the number of count document you have uploaded, what is the count of the credit note, debit note, whether the taxable value and other tax values are matching with your data or not. And once you are satisfied that, you can save the data into the GST Zen database. The data is completely safe, and if you want to see that whatever data you have uploaded, you have a separate screen with the name purchase register where you can see all your uploaded data. For the convenience of searching, we have the search and filter option where few search options are there to minimize your searching and to help you with the convenient thing. You can just simply apply the date range. You can apply the booking date range. You can search for a particular invoice and click on this filter result. So this is how you can upload your purchase register into GST Zen for the purpose of return filing as well as for the purpose of reconciliation. Let me take you back to the previous screen. That is our steps of reconciliation, where we have done the first step, that is fetching the information from the government portal. And the second step, that is uploading your purchase register for the purpose of reconciliation. Moving to the third step, that is run GSTs and intelligent matcher. So this is a matcher which facilitates with primarily two parameters, that is maximum days difference and maximum tax amount difference. So you can choose the difference date and tax amount, the amount which you can bear as a difference, and you can run the match. So primarily it works with the two parameters on the front end, but in the back end it works with multiple filters, and it match the invoices considering multiple factors. So and also it's an important step to match all the invoices as per the portal and as per your books of accounts. So here I click on download the report, and it takes me back to the previous screen itself. So here I can see that the matcher ran 0 minutes ago. Now, in the next step, we have the reports based on the invoice date, 3B claim period, and 6A filing period. You can have a monthly report for a specific month, or you can have an yearly consolidated report. Here, I'll be downloading one of the consolidated report for the complete year. Although I just uploaded the purchase register for the January month, but I want to show you that how it shows for the data whichever is matched, unmatched, only in books, only in portal. For that convenience, I downloaded the whole year report. To work with this report, we need to enable the macros. So so this sheet is so convenient that whatever working you will do in this sheet, you can save automatically into GST Zen. You're not required to keep this Excel in your system and all that. So here in this RICO report, which I have downloaded just in front of you, we have three sheets, that is overview, GSTR 6A invoice reconciliation, and 6A by vendor. So overview sheet, you will get a better understanding about the sheet once you start working on GSTR 6A invoice reconciliation, because in the overview sheet it just talks about the number. It gives you the figures as per books, as per 6A by the portal, and the difference between books and portal, what all invoices, like the figures for the invoices which are matched, unmatched, considering the invoice number, whether what is the date difference considering the invoice date gap which we have given in the step 3, and you will get a better picture of it once you start working on GSTR 6A. So this is the main reconciliation sheet where you will get all the necessary information for the purpose of reconciliation. And as I mentioned that you're not required to save this sheet, it will automatically save because we have provided this GST Zen tab in this Excel. Let me just quickly speak about this sheet, and then I will explain you that how this GST Zen tab works. So this sheet has all the necessary information which you are required. So here I'll quickly move to these colored columns. So here we have one column with the name match type. If I apply the filter here, you can see that we have books and portal, only in books and only in portal. You can apply the filter and see. Otherwise, also by viewing at the screen itself, you will get a clear picture that all the invoices which are highlighted in blue state that these are the invoices which are only in portal. All the invoices which are highlighted in green states that these are the match invoices as per portal and as per your books. And all the invoices which are highlighted in yellow states that these are the invoices which are only in your books. And you need to consider that whether you want to carry it forward or whether you want to use it or what to do with that particular invoices. So as I mentioned that this is your main reconciliation working sheet. So these are your main working columns. All those which are highlighted in peachish color, these are your main working columns, and you can save these particular column working into GST Zen directly. So let me just quickly talk about these column one by one. That is, first is the RICO action. So under this, we have a drop down where you can choose any of your action and work accordingly. Maybe you can choose as review later, wrong invoice by supplier, lost ITC, email supplier, email to supplier sent, or log match. So these are the few options which are given for your reconciliation action. Next we have is this ITC eligibility, where you can choose the ITC eligibility as personal use, exempt use, block credit, taxable use, or common credit. Next column we have is ITC claim status. Again, a drop down is given for the convenience that you can choose it as accepted, reject, pending, accept, and reversal. If you want to make a note of for any of the claim date, of course, you can use this AQ column. Other than these above columns, if you want to make a note for this particular invoice specifically, you can use this RECO note column, and you can keep your notes also in this. You are not required to maintain any extra sheet for any of the working. Next we have is this force match portal invoice row number. So these columns help you to match all the invoices which are not matched even after running the matcher in the step 3, and as per your knowledge it should map. There is a possibility when it does not matches, because it considers multiple parameters like the in document number, supplier detail, invoice number, invoice date, GST amounts, taxable amounts. So all these is taken into consideration while preparing this RECO report. And because of the non-matching of 2 or 3 parameters, the invoice is not matched. So you can use this forced match in portal invoice row number, where you can forcefully match the invoices if the document type is same. There are few more columns for the reference where you can check the customer GSTN, whether the buyer GSTN is matched or not matched, whether the place of supply is there or not, and a few other tax columns for your reference. So this is about the sheet, and whatever changes you will make here in these peachish color columns, you will go to this GSTs and click on this invoice upload tab. It will save all your working for those particular invoices into GSTs and database. And whenever you download the next report, you will get all these workings automatically in your sheet. So this is about this sheet. You will get a better clarity for the overview sheet once you start working on this sheet. Moving to the next sheet, that is GSTR 6A by vendor. So this is purely a dump of all the invoices which is fetched from the portal, or whatever you have uploaded as your purchase register. You can say it as a raw data where you can apply multiple filters to do the working, or to reach out to any of the specific result. So this is about the reconciliation report. Let me take you back to the GSTZ. So this is about the reconciliation report. Now I will be talking about that how conveniently you can file your GSTR6 using GSTZ. So here I have choose the option as file GST return. The return which I want to file is GSTR6, and the month I'll be choosing is the March month, March 2025. You can file the return with OTP, and you're not required to log in with OTP if you have logged in while doing some other thing like fetching the data from the portal or at the time of reconciliation. If you have logged in through OTP, you're not required to log in again before 6 hours to this particular to file the return, and vice versa. So moving to the steps, what we have is the first step is uploading the purchase register. As I have already shown you the same thing while uploading the purchase register for the reconciliation. So I won't be repeating the steps here again, but you have to make sure that you are mapping that allocated GSTN amount column, which I showed you specifically while uploading the purchase register. So the second step here is ISD distribution entity under current PAN. So as I have already prepared some of the data here for the convenience, but again, if you want to do it, you can click on this upload active entities, and you can make the changes here. Like you can delete or add any new, or delete the unwanted GSTN or entity from here, and click on the Save Changes tab. So whatever changes you will make, you will get a notification that entity save, and it will take you back to the previous screen itself. But still, just in case you don't want to make the or prepare this data by your own, we have a tab here that is generate entities from invoices. Once you click on it, it will auto calculate whatever data you have uploaded and prepare the data for you and show it here in step 2 itself by giving you this green message. That means the task is completed. Moving to the next step, that is review GST Zen summary of ISD credit. So here you have an option to calculate the data, whatever you have uploaded in a tabular form. Like you will get this tabular structure thing for the convenience, where it will give you the bifurcation amongst the different type of invoice, giving the descriptive numbers for IGST, CGST, SGST, cess, also bifurcating them under the eligible and ineligible. And of course, you can check for the total as well. Also, you get a summary for the credit distribution, like whatever values or amount you have bifurcated for a particular GST, and you can see it here under this eligible, ineligible column, bifurcated again between the CGST, SGST, and IGST and cess. After all this, you have another tab here, update GSTR6 payload. So for the allocation of the amount to multiple or to a particular GST, and you need to provide a document number and document date for that specific transaction. So here, once you click on that upload GSTR6 payload, it will give you this document number and document date option. Although these are auto filled by their own, you can make the changes simply by providing the number as per your convenience and the date. And whatever changes you will make, again, also just to mention, these are again distributed amongst the two, that is eligible and ineligible. Whatever changes you will make in this above document number and document date, you will hit on this update all changes, and it will automatically change everything in the payload which you will be sending to the government portal for filing the return. Once everything is done in step 3, we will move to step 4, that is uploading or pushing the data to the government portal. So here you have this upload tab, you will click on it. It will take like couple of minutes to push all your data from GST Zen to your return filing page on the GST portal, and you will get the status here. Once you get the status as complete here, you will click on this generate summary. Again, it will take a minute to generate the summary. After generation of a summary, of course, you can review your data to be very sure that nothing is going wrong. So you can just review the GST portal summary. Here you will get 3 things. One is the data which is there in GST Zen, the data which is pushed to the government portal, or plus the data which is already there on the portal, and a difference if there is any between the GST Zen and the government portal. Once you are satisfied, once you're reviewed with everything in step 5, you can file the return through ABC, EBC, or DSC. So with these few quick steps and with auto populated and auto calculated feature of filing this GSTR6, you can file it conveniently and easily with few steps through GST Zen. Before moving ahead, I just want to discuss about this pin thing which is there. Like if you do or consider some of the working for filing this GSTR6, you are not again required to keep it safe anywhere. You can just simply provide under this pin, you can upload your working here. And whenever in future you want to refer that whatever working you have done to file this March month return, you can come back to GST Zen. You can come to this particular screen and check your working, whatever you have saved while filing this return under this pin option. So this is how you file the return for GSTR6. There is another tab that is download a report. Let me just quickly show you what is there. So for this consolidated report, you can choose any of the financial year for which you want to do working. And as you can see, the steps are mostly the same. Like if you need to upload the purchase register for the reconciliation working and for the return filing, there is no difference in the step. Once you learn for one of the thing, you will get to know for the other as well. Similarly, if you want to fetch the data for 6 and 6A for a particular for a particular report, the steps are absolutely the same. Like you have to click on the checkbox and click on this download from the portal, and you can get the report of 6A by vendor and 6A transaction level report. Again, you will get a report monthly as well as consolidated report. So that's how you can work for ISD, GST in GST Zen with few simple steps with so much of convenience. Thank you. Over to you, Jagdish sir.
Thank you. There are some questions. Actually, I missed the important aspect that ISD includes. First, I will take the question. There is a question that how can ISD make RCM payment on invoice received to ISD? So, in amended section 2, subsection 61, it includes the RCM also. That means even on the RCM credit, they have to distribute to the distinct person. That means how can we do? As of now, there is no option to pay under RCM if any invoice comes to the ISD registration. In that case, what you have to do is get the RCM invoice on the regular registration and pay the RCM and raise the invoice from the regular registration to the ISD registration. From there, you transfer the credit to the distant person. By that way, you can transfer the ISD credit to the remaining, to your branch offices. Like that, you can comply with that ISD, RCM part. So other than that, I have covered all my questions. And also, there are some questions on GST Gen also. Is sign up is free? That you can take up this question, Manisha. Yeah. Other than that, 6A ITC, this is also part of. Okay, I think I have taken all the questions. Still, if you have any questions, you can mail us to support@gstgen.in. We'll give a reply to that mail.
Jagdish sir.
Yes.
I'd like to take up the question, is GST Zen sign up being free or is there any registration fee? So I just would like to let you know that GST Zen sign up is absolutely free. There is no charges for the sign up. And of course, on the sign up, you will get a trial period of 14 days where you can add one GST number, check the reports for the past 4 months. And if you need more access, you can of course reach out to us. We are always happy to help you all. Thank you.
Is ISD, one more question is there, is ISD registration is required in every state? No need. If you want, you can take the multiple ISD registrations. But let's say I have already explained you with an example that in case of any invoice with only CGST and SCST, in that case, I cannot transfer the credit as an IGST. In that case, it is suggested to take the ISD registration in the state where you cannot transfer that as an IGST. Hope it is clear to you all. Still, if you have any questions, you can mail to support@gstgen.in. Yeah. Even on Gen also there is no questions. Yeah, man. So we can wrap it now, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all.